I want to quickly talk to you about credit repair dispute, and I want to focus on the kind of mistakes you need to avoid if you are initiating a credit repair dispute. Okay, so I want to really I have identified five top mistakes that you really need to avoid if you want to win your credit repair dispute this year. So let me give you an overview before I get into those top five mistakes. It's important to understand that credit repair is actually an evolving tactic. You have regulations changing all the time. You have not only federal authorities getting involved, but also state regulators. So nowadays, if you're thinking about credit repair and you want to win, it's not just about choosing your Fair Credit Reporting Act, like the FCRA as the baseline. You have a lot of processes, a lot of tools to actually think about. For instance, you can think about credit repair software. If you don't want to do things manually, if for any reason you don't have time or you don't have the skill set to really initiate a credit repair manually, you can actually rely on software, right? You have a lot of software tools out there to kind of help you out, or you can reach out to a credit repair company. Okay, you can repair to a credit repair professional to kind of help you out. Long story short, no matter what you're trying to do, understand that there will be mistakes. This is a mistake bound process, and you have to really make sure that if you want to stay on top, if you want to stay on top, you want to stay on top of things. I get it. You have to really make sure that you are taking notes. It's not just about actually contacting let's say a lender and asking them to fix a problem on your FICO report. No, you got to take a note. You got to really think about the date you called, the person you spoke to, and what you spoke about. Okay, among other things. Why? Because again, this is a mistake fraught process, and if you don't take notes, you are actually you will be having a big surprises on the wrong side. Okay, and so when you contact lenders, when you contact credit bureaus, for instance, when you contact professionals, credit repair professionals, you always have to have a file where you're taking notes. Very important. So the first mistake that you need to avoid if you want to win credit repair disputes is to actually make sure you are disputing the right things. Okay, don't dispute the wrong things. See, because the thing is, I understand. I mean, when you have a low FICO score, you're really gung ho about disputing everything and anything, right? But you got to really be very strategic here and choose what you want to dispute. If you want your dispute process to be assertive, to be successful, okay. So don't dispute something that you can or should not dispute. So in most cases, you don't want to dispute accurate information. Okay, don't if you know that the info is accurate, don't try to dispute it because sooner or later they will find out that the info is accurate. Okay, so like if you know that you owe money, if you know that you owe that lender whatever, like or you've been behind in payments, don't try to dispute it because discover let's say not discover the lender, okay, or even TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax will go through their internal process that will last for 30 days. But in the end, they will realize that, hey, listen, you've been actually playing games all along. And that's not really a good thing it's not a good situation to have, okay? You don't want those credit bureaus, those lenders to start thinking of you as somebody who's playing games, okay? Who likes to play games. So don't try to really understand. Don't try to really undermine your chances. Okay, so don't try to remove accurate information from credit reports without finding something inaccurate about how those transactions are being reported. Okay, and don't try to remove everything from your report because believe it or not, some negative items are actually helping your credit score. Okay, because your credit score actually is the most important factor in determining your credit score, right? Credit history. So if you delete, let's say, if you delete a negative account that happens to be one of your oldest accounts, that loss of history can be far worse than what you gain from removing the negative item in the first place. So that's important. You want to look at things. You want to look at things from both sides actually. Okay, so if you have a lot of credit history spread across multiple accounts, you can strategize item by item, account by account, lender by lender, provider by provider, and you can decide what can and should be removed in the first place. That way, you're not ending up actually disputing the wrong things, okay? You're disputing the right thing. So the first mistake you want to avoid this year is to dispute the wrong things. Another mistake that I want you to really avoid when if you are trying to win credit repair dispute is to actually understand that your dispute should contain accurate and complete information. So if you have disputes that contain inaccurate or incomplete information, again, you are actually painting a picture about you of somebody who's not really serious or somebody who's playing games. Okay, that's really important to think about it that way because lenders, once again, they are going to really dig deeper to make sure that your claims are indeed valid. So disputes that really fail because they cannot be investigated by the bureaus usually contain inaccurate or incomplete claims. Okay, in some cases, disputes contain, let's say, inaccurate information like the wrong dates, wrong account numbers, or wrong creditor names. In other cases, basic dispute information is actually incomplete, like not including the actual reason for your dispute in the first place. I mean, if you are initiating a dispute, the least you can do is to give Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion the minimum info they need to be able to research the the transaction to research the scenario that led to the dispute in the first place. Okay, so if you think about it, you can say, well, those are minor mistakes, but hey, listen, they're not minor mistakes; they are embarrassing mistakes. So please avoid them. Okay, and they are very easy to fix, right? What I'm trying to say here is that when you actually initiate a dispute, make sure that you are really doing your homework, right? Make sure you want to double check, triple check, quadruple check, quintuple check, whatever check you want to like. You want to double check your disputes before you mail them, and when in doubt, you want to add more details that back up your claims. It's all about substantiating whatever you're putting on paper, right? Because again, those credit bureaus or those lenders, they have processes in place internally to go through every claim, to verify every claim, to validate every claim, and sooner or later, if something is wrong, they will catch it anyway. Okay, so this is important to look at it from their point of view too. Another mistake to avoid if you want to win credit repair disputes has to deal with evidence. I mean, it's all about substantiating your claim, okay? So, not providing enough evidence is actually a biggie. It's a big mistake to avoid. And so, if you want to really win credit repair disputes, you want to provide as much evidence as possible. It's not about just substantiating your claim. It's about adding as much additional evidence, additional proof as possible. Okay. So what happens here is that it's all about you against them, them being the data furnisher, the data provider, you against them. So the more evidence you provide to support your dispute, the better. The better for your case, not just because you can potentially win the case, but also the case can be decided faster. Okay, and that's kind of cool. But on the flip side, if you don't provide enough info, what happens here is that, or even worse, you don't provide no documentation at all. You don't provide any documentation at all. There is a good chance that the bureaus will deny the dispute. They will stall or ask for more information. Now, remember, anytime they ask for more information, you have the 30-day statutory timeline that resets. So you can be having 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, and before you know it, you spend a whole year actually trying to fight a dispute. Okay, that's a waste of time, waste of money too. So you want to collect. What you want to do is that you want to collect as much evidence as possible, right? And when I'm speaking about evidence, it's everything that can really help your case, okay, prevail. It's all about making sure that you prevail in the dispute. When you have a dispute, you have a some kind of antagonism, right? You have two versions that are really conflicting, And the version that wins is the version that actually has more evidence. So evidence can be bank statements, a letter from a creditor, a police report. Let's say you were a victim of identity fraud, for instance. If you have a police report, you want to add it. You want to add it. Anything else that can help back up your claim, you want to add it as much as possible. Make copies of these relevant documents and attach them to your dispute letters. Always keep the originals, and every piece of evidence increases your chances of a successful dispute, right? It's all about you prevailing. And also be sure to include a photo ID and proof of address with your round one letters to the bureaus, okay? And if you forget to do this, you are going to get a stall letter, and you do not want to get a stall letter. That's just, again, going back to what I said, it's a waste of time, waste of money, and waste of resources. Another mistake that you want to avoid if you want to win credit repair disputes this year is actually forgetting about the whole online thing. Like a lot of credit bureaus would like to encourage you to place a dispute online because for them is better, it's more efficient, they're saving money. But for you, things can be more complicated. If you actually dispute online, you are actually you are really how do I say it? You could really experience a delay, okay? Because the thing is that unfortunately, the online processes at credit repair bureaus is not really not credit repair bureaus, credit bureaus in general is not really set in a place in a way that really eases up the whole process. Okay, so some people are in too big a hurry. Okay, they rush to file quick disputes and give up all their legal fights or their legal rights, rather legal rights. Okay, so they go to the credit bureau websites. Let's say they go to transunion.com, they go to equifax.com, they go to experience.com, and they sign up for their online dispute process, thinking that it is actually a fast and convenient way to repair credit. Okay, but the thing is that those folks don't realize that the terms and um, sorry about that. The terms and service agreement states that if you file disputes with them online, you are giving up certain rights and legal protections, limiting your ability to take them to court. And that's really big. If you are limiting your ability to take those bureaus to court, you are really, limiting your ability to even win the case in the first place. Okay. So the thing is, I don't want to say the obvious, but you never, ever want to give up your rights, especially to the big banks and credit bureaus, right? So by disputing the proven standard way through the manual way, you have more legal protections. So if for any reasons, God forbid, but things happen, if your rights are violated, you can more easily go to court, and in some cases, you can even win a cash settlement. Okay, you can actually win cash. So that's something to really keep in mind this year. So the last mistake that I want you to avoid if you want to win a credit repair dispute is to actually follow up. So not following up is a big mistake, and I want you to really avoid it. Why? Because I think I've said this at the beginning of the show. What happens here is that when you initiate a dispute, you're not the only one. Okay, and you always want to take the name of the person you spoke to, the time you called them, the info you were disputing, or whatever that can really help you. Because in the end, if they don't really follow up, you are the one who should follow up. Okay, so once you have filed a dispute, you want to prepare to follow up and make sure that it's been properly investigated. That's what you want. I mean, the bureaus are legally obligated to respond within 30 days of receiving your letter, but they often take longer because they're busy. They're just busy, okay? And if they do send you stall letters claiming that your dispute is frivolous, or even worse, the documentation is not legible, it's actually time to send them a reinvestigation letter restating the dispute details and your legal justification for the dispute, right? So it's one of those things where you want to really be proactive. And if you don't hear back at all within 40 days, it's time to actually send a no response letter, reminding them of their legal obligation to respond. Okay. And at this point, if for any reason they still don't take action, it's time to get serious and send a bureau warning letter. And in that letter, you warn them that you are considering filing complaints with the CFPB, the FTC, and your state attorney general, and also further legal action. Okay, so this is important to really you want to keep them on their toes actually. So with this dispute follow-ups, the key to winning is patience, persistence, and continually applying pressure. That's what I call the three P's. Okay, you want to be patient, you want to be persistent, and you also want to be applying pressure. So if you don't have the round one reinvestigation or bureau warning letters, please let me know, and I will certainly send them to you via email or other ways. At least you have them, and you can really follow up on things yourself. So those are the top five mistakes you need to avoid if you want to win credit repair disputes this year. Okay. Now, what you need to know in the end is that basically, at the end of the day, you can do things manually. You can do things. You can do things with software too, or you can reach out to a third party company, a credit repair company, to kind of help you out. So you always have the option to choose which route you want to go. Of course, if you do things manually, it's cheaper. Actually, it's free. It's your time, but you have to really know what you're doing. You have to know. You have to familiarize yourself with the whole credit repair dispute process and know that you are doing the right thing. If for any reason you don't have time, you don't have the resources, or you don't even have the skill set to do it yourself, it's just a lot better to reach out to a third party, to a company that specializes in that category, and really tell them to do it for you. Okay, or you can just go to software. You can use software to really help you out. Okay, so the cool thing is that you have a lot of software tools on the market that can really help you import and audit credit reports with just one click and help you learn what to dispute, right? So you can tell exactly how to organize things, how to customize things, and how to track also every single dispute. That way you know exactly what happens, what could happen, okay? And also avoid actually failing. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, disputes fail for so many reasons. Some are avoidable and some are not, right? Mistakes are going to happen. That's why pencils have erasers, actually. But even a ton of mistakes in the dispute process will actually will slow down your FICO score sort of growth. So what you want to do here, you want to be in a system where you are able to increase your chances of actually winning, and that's important from a scalability point of view. So, in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about mistakes to avoid if you want to win credit repair disputes. I gave you the overview, what you need to know, but also the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.